Greetings and welcome once again to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we dive into today's music, the usual, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Please be sure to like the video by clicking the thumbs up button and subscribe to the video channel by clicking the subscribe button, and you can also click the little bell icon that appears next to it. That way you'll be informed each time I post a new video. And also you can click the share button to share the video through social media networks you might be on, such as Facebook and Twitter, and there are many others to choose from as well, so please consider doing so. Also, I would ask you to kindly consider visiting my Patreon page. The Patreon page has a link in the show description below the video, and there you can see the different tiers that are available, and you can go so far as to have your name listed in the end credits, or even select an album for me to review on the channel. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Paul and Pam, who are new Patreon members, and thank you very much for joining the Patreon family. And that's the housekeeping for today. Let's get to today's topic. Today we're going to be listening to and looking at the debut album of Australia's new wave of traditional heavy metal band, Galaxy. The album is entitled On the Shore of Life and was released in late 2021. A little back history before diving into today's album. Galaxy was formed in the mid to late 20-teens and released their debut EP in 2019. This was called Lost from the Start and featured a heavy power metal sound while also straying into a little bit of a speed metal sound, but it kept to the core of what would more solidly become the sound that Galaxy wanted for their unique sound on the new album On the Shore of Life. It got pretty well received. It was distributed by Dying Victims Production, and they're a label out of Europe, which is a great thing for a band from Australia, as it does give them more opportunities to reach a broader base of listeners. And Galaxy is basically a duo. It's Stu Callanan, and he writes all the music and plays all the guitars and bass. And he's joined by Philip T. King, who writes the lyrics and provides all the vocals on the album. The EP in 2019 and On the Shore of Life in 2021 were both produced by legendary producer Andy LaRocque. For On the Shore of Life, Stu and Philip were joined by another legendary musician, the historically famous Simon Phillips on drums, who has worked with bands such as The Who, Jeff Beck, Judas Priest, and the Michael Schenker Group, to name just a few. On their debut LP On the Shore of Life, Galaxy have stepped a little bit away from the heavier and speedier sound elements which were present on their debut EP, and gotten a little bit more dark as well as more melodic in their approach to this mid-80s traditional new wave of traditional heavy metal sound styling that they provide. It is diverse on a grand scale and provides sublime sonic soundscapes throughout. The album opens with a song that rocks hard from the start called Bright Stars. The band chose this song very wisely. It's a great opener, as it has a sound to it, a sonic soundscape, which paints a loving landscape of homage to the sounds that they are inspired by, bands such as Savatage or Merciful Fate, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Metallica. You can hear their influences, but clearly Galaxy has their own sound, and Stu wrote phenomenal music for the entire album. Philip does a great job of showcasing his vocal range in this opening track as well. He has a range that goes from some pretty nice lows to almost King Diamond-esque highs. So he really does a great job providing a wide range of vocal stylings throughout the album. Stu's guitar riffs are tight and varied throughout, and this is kind of a central characteristic of the whole album. The music is never sedentary or monochromatic, but it takes tremendous twists and turns, mostly driven by the guitars, but Stu's bass playing is also really worthy of note. He does a great job on the bass guitar, and it does back up the rhythm section quite nicely. So let's get a taste for the sound of Galaxy with a sample taken from the third track of the album, and that's the track called Gemini. Gemini kicks off with a little bit of a musical prelude before going into the song proper. I chose this sample because it does a good job of showing the adventuresome nature of the music with wonderful guitar work and classical drumming by Simon Phillips. Then, of course, we get the chorus vocal coming in before the first verse of the song, and this is a really nice beginning. It showcases the style of their changeability, their unique sound, and I thought this was a perfect example to showcase the musical stylings as well as the vocal stylings put together on the Shore of Life. The track is followed by a very touching, gentle, and for the most part acoustic song. This is entitled Daughter in the Distance, and in keeping with the overall lyrical theme of the album, it is a song about life and in this case, an aging man who has no family, has no heirs, but imagines that on the other side of this barrier of reality, there is a daughter that he loves and wills to be strong. And there's a little tip of the cap to Stephen King in Philip's lyric here, as he does make mention in a particular line, "Only a thinny keeps us apart." And a thinny is taken from the Stephen King Gunslinger series of books, It is a kind of place where reality is weakened to a point where crossing is potentially feasible. So it's a weak spot in reality, and that's why the lyric goes, "Only a thinny keeps us apart." The title track of the album, "On the Shore of Life," is an a cappella piece, and this is kind of surprising, but perfectly fits in with the album as a whole. You know, the music is so adventurous that having an a cappella piece, even though it's just 59 seconds long, really doesn't seem out of character or out of place. And it is a marvelous little number that Philip performs, dedicated to someone named Jimbo and all of the Brogans. I don't know who the Brogans are or Jimbo, but I do want to certainly give them a shout out and say it's dedicated to you. And this brings us to the album closer, which is "We Enter the Door of Death Alone." Stu has said that this song best represents what he envisions the sound and the idea of Galaxy to be. So let's give a little bit of a listen to this track, and we'll take a bit of the song from around the 3-minute mark, and so let's give that a listen now. We enter the This snippet of the song does a really great job of highlighting, yet again, the tremendous musicianship that Stu brings to Galaxy. His playing and songwriting are superb, and the wonderful guitar tone is just a delight to the ear. As the snippet fades out, you can hear the beginning of what is a really nice lead guitar section, and he does do some dynamic lead guitar work throughout the album. It's a fantastic closer for the album, and it does place the listener truly on the shore of life. It is a song that has weight to it and gives ponderance, as does the album, to what life is, you know, the light and the dark, and how we face the challenges that life brings us. I think Stu and Philip have put together one of 2021's best heavy metal, new wave of traditional heavy metal albums, and certainly I think it's debut album of the year. It's a brilliant piece of recording from beginning to end, and I highly recommend it. And also the prior EP. I think On the Shore of Life is probably something that is a better representation of what we can expect going forward from the band, but the EP also is a good listen. For everything from the adventurous nature of the music through the extremely great production value, I have to give this album easily 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is a brilliant recording and a fantastic debut release from Galaxy. And you can find it on Bandcamp and iTunes. I highly recommend that you use Bandcamp. They give more money to the artist than I think other digital music outlets do. So you've heard me mention Bandcamp many times in my other videos. Please do consider doing that, and I would highly recommend that you consider listening to On the Shore of Life by Galaxy, released just a few months ago in 2021. It's a fantastic record, and you won't be disappointed. If you like Thin Lizzy or Sabotage or Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, this album is right up your alley. And with that being said, I thank you for your time and attention, and I really appreciate your considering visiting my Patreon page and also liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Until next time, peace. Bye-bye.